Good morning, Laker fans. What is going on? Appreciate you guys tuning in. A little Lakers talk daily on this Thursday morning. Week kind of flying here, Laker fans. Week is flying here. Lakers got another one coming up in, 10 hours, something along those lines. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder coming tonight, so that should be a good game. Want to spend a little time previewing that game. Quick little chat about the Lakers and the Pistons from last night. And then I want to read a couple tweets, messages I got on YouTube on DAngelo Russell and his performance last night. I will tell you this, Laker fans they're all over the place with DAngelo Russell. They basically say, look, there's a fork in the road. You go left or you go right. I don't think anybody's in the middle on D-Lo. And I think that will have some significance to tonight's game. Subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. Content 5 days a week right here as far as Lakers go. Of course, we're streaming all our live shows as well. So a lot of content on the channel. Lakers, they didn't do anything special yesterday. They beat the Pistons. They're supposed to beat the Pistons. They blew out the Pistons. They allowed Anthony Davis and LeBron James to play under 30 minutes. Still kind of wondering why Bron was in there for the final or for the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. But they did what they had to do. Detroit's a really bad team. They've lost 15 games in a row. So I don't want to I definitely do not want to overhype beating the Pistons, and I'm not going to. Now, if you want to turn some heads, go in tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's a much different conversation. I think Laker fans would agree that that's a much different conversation. But at the same time, you still got to handle the business that's on your schedule, and the Lakers were able to do that yesterday, so give them credit for that. But now it's time to move on, and let's get ready for a real matchup against the Oklahoma City Thunder. So last night in the game, one of the storylines that happened, DAngelo Russell went off, started the game out 6 for 6 from the field. I think can't remember, 16 or 18 points in the first half, ended up with 35 points and 9 assists. DAngelo Russell had 35 and 9. That's not LeBron, but those are LeBron type of numbers. Just a big time performance for him. Got in a rhythm early, hit a couple of layups, floaters, and then all of a sudden, his three-point shot he couldn't miss was 5 of 7 from the three-point line, 35 and 9. So not only was he getting buckets, not only was he ridiculously efficient, but at the same time, as he was doing that, he also was dishing the ball, and like I said, facilitating with 9 assists for the Lakers. So played 34 minutes. Probably don't want him to play 34 against the Pistons because you got a second of a back-to-back today. But DAngelo was phenomenal. He was outstanding. So interaction on some of the social platforms yesterday. I'm going to read you guys a couple of these comments here. I sent out a tweet during the game, basically said D'Lo's been phenomenal so far tonight. Somebody on Twitter, Benzo3232. You do know they are playing the Pistons, right? So immediately wanting to take credit away. Another Bagski14. Let's see what or how he does tomorrow in OKC. Okay, another one. This is on YouTube. Lagoat James. D'Lo getting his trade value to be shipped out for Kyrie. Another one. Demio Divine. D'Lo's a solid point guard, but I'm waiting until the postseason to make my final verdict. You get a mulligan for last year. Let's see how that works. Here's the point that I'm trying to make, Laker fans. And I'm not truly against this comment where I feel like there are some Laker fans that, clearly have an opinion on DAngelo Russell. A lot of the people yesterday were saying, cool, D'Lo, that was awesome. You dropped 35 and 9. Awesome. Great. Can you do it against a legitimate team that has true chances of trying to make a run in the Western Conference? I mean, the Thunder are... I don't know how good they're going to be when the dust settles, but I think there's a very good chance they'll be in the playoffs, so they'll clearly be a playoff team. And let's see, what they're able to do. Their only issue is they're just so young. But that backcourt's going to be a lot different tonight than it was yesterday. That Oklahoma City Thunder team is going to be a lot different than it was yesterday. We do know this about DAngelo Russell, that in the playoffs last year, Darvin Ham could not play him in key moments against the Denver Nuggets because he was too much of a liability. So I do think there's always hesitation on any player unless you see them doing it in crunch time, unless you see them doing it on the highest stage. Now, you can say, look, Al, he had a game against Memphis. He had a game against the Golden State Warriors. He did. In the playoffs, he had some moments, but they were not consistent enough to say, guys, what the hell is Darvin Ham doing? Why is D'Lo not in the game? That wasn't the case. So I thought that was interesting from last night's game, that a lot of Laker fans were taking the stance of, cool, D'Lo, go ahead and do it against a good team. Cool, D'Lo, go ahead and do it tomorrow, now tonight, against the Oklahoma City Thunder, or in somebody else's case, where they're talking about how, I'll believe it when you do something in the postseason or you do something like that in the postseason. So, look, he's a polarizing figure. I think there's a lot of Laker fans that have their opinion on DAngelo Russell. I've said this before. I'm not going to sit here and say I will stand for DAngelo Russell no matter what. I'm not. That's just not going to be my stance on D'Lo. I want him to be successful. I want him to have good games against good teams because that's better for the Los Angeles Lakers. But he has been inconsistent. And some of those stats, if you just look at his stats, you're going to say, okay, that's not bad. But I think you got to look a little bit more into it. When is it coming? Is it coming in critical moments? Is it coming in critical games? And I think that's always going to be a question mark for DAngelo Russell until that's done, again, on a consistent basis. A one-off here and there happens. Can you do it on a consistent basis? Thunder 11-6 on the season. I think that matchup's going to be interesting tonight. They have lost a couple games in a row. They do have this situation with Josh Giddey going on. Police investigating some allegations on him. But I'm not expecting the Lakers to win tonight. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. Why would I expect them to win the second of a back-to-back on the road against a good team? Until they do that or start doing that on a more consistent basis, it's tough to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I think it's a really tough game tonight. If they win, I will be surprised. I'm not walking into this game thinking, oh, Lakers got this one. However, if they put together a good performance and they walk back in this road trip 3-1, I do think that's a maybe churning point is a little bit too aggressive, but I do think that's definitely you could churn some heads by doing that. So tough matchup tonight. I think it should be a fun game. Let's see what the Lakers can put together. We know that this is the final of a 4-game road trip. They got a game coming up on Saturday across the street at Crypto.com Arena. So let's see what the Lake Show can do. Lakers, Thunder tonight. I got Travis and Sliwa show coming up here in about an hour and a half or so. Probably less than that by the time we post this. And then pregame show will start at 3:30. All right, Lake fans, let's get your thoughts here and hopefully another W for the Lakers. Appreciate you tuning in.